Hello, awesome Moss flutists. I hope everybody is doing well. This is the updated Etude in the category of lyrical Etude, the slow Etude, for this year's region audition. And this is Franz Wilhelm Ferling's Etude, his Largo Larimoso, which is kind of a popular one, actually. Many middle school regions have used this. Also, small high school 4A used this last year as well. So the Ferling is kind of a favorite. The other thing about this etude that's a little bit unusual is that it was not originally written for flute. Ferling was a German oboist. You can tell on the right-hand side. I've already gotten his information for you. 1796 to 1874. So he was kind of square into the Romantic period, and you can tell because of all the different musical twists and turns in this particular piece. This is originally from a larger body of work, Ferling's 48 Studies for Oboe, and I believe it's number 27 in the book, something like that. It's in the key of E minor, which is different from our Garibaldi that's in the key of B flat major. So it's going to be very, very different colors. The other differences are that it is subdivided. Subdivision is taking beats or taking notes, or you can use time signature, and taking those and making them twice as long as what you're accustomed to. So in this particular case, the time signature is written as a 3/4, but we're really going to be playing it in a 6 or a 6/8. But it's a 6/8 that's divided between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For those of you who are accustomed to playing 6/8, typically we divide the measure in half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it becomes like triplets. We don't have that situation here. It's going to be counted in 6. The eighth note will receive one beat, but it's not going to be in a triplet format. I've already written the counting for the first two measures. The recording that I made for you has the metronome moving to that subdivision. So the clicks that you hear are the downbeats utilizing the eighth notes. The tempo is a Largo Larimoso. Largo is very slow. Larimoso means melancholy, tearful, sad, which makes sense because of the key signature. Watch out for your dynamics in here. They're very strategic because of the fact that the phrases are very, very long. I added 1 or 2 other breath marks that at tempo you're probably going to have to take. This tempo marking at the very beginning is, especially the 70, is slightly too slow. You do not want to take it any slower than 76 for sure. For me, 76 to 80 is more of a Largo Larimoso tempo. Anything less than that starts to turn into what's called a grave, and then it's really, really tough to make it through these phrases, just with good musicianship and tasteful playing. You have what we call a gruppetto, which sometimes looks like a sideways turn in measure 3. That for some of you might be something new. A trill in measure 9. We'll get into the mechanics of that in my next video for you. Another trill in measure 15 as well. That's a fundamental trill. The trill in measure 9 is a non-fundamental trill. I have written already a cue for you in measure 10 about what to use on the A sharp. Definitely a lever in that situation. However, I wanted to wait to write this one in measure 14. That should absolutely be a 1 and 1, or sometimes people call it 1 and 4. So our least used A sharp fingering, or B flat fingering. I always call it an A sharp in this particular case. And then lastly, I would say, watch your articulation. You do have some staccatos in here, but they're not treated like staccatos. They're treated more like martelets. Martelet. Martelé in its purest sense means hammered. You're not going to hit these, but hammered from the standpoint of not quite as short as a staccato, but not quite as long as a détaché. Sometimes we see those notes with a long line, a legato marking on top of a staccato. Sometimes you might have seen a combination of notes also with staccatos on top of the note heads, but what looks like a slur, it's not really a slur, it's actually a phrase mark, and it's that same sort of idea. They're slightly longer, still with some space in between, and you'll hear that on the recording. So that gets you started on some score preparation on this work. And you can listen through the recording that I've made. Like I said, that particular recording I made at 76, and I only made one recording of this, mostly because the slower tempo is just not quite as appropriate for this particular work. Happy preparation!